My brother-in-law borrowed my truck to move furniture. I found it a week later at his friend's repair shop, covered in mud, engine blown, no explanation. When I confronted him, he said, "It's just a truck." That's when I opened the glove box and found the receipt. I've always been the guy people come to when they need help. Family, friends, neighbors. I don't say that to brag. It's just how I was raised. You help your people. You lend a hand. You don't keep score. But after what happened with my brother-in-law, I don't think I'll ever look at family the same way again. This started back in early April, just after Easter. My brother-in-law, Travis, called me out of the blue one evening around 6 p.m. Now, for context, I don't talk to Travis much. He's married to my younger sister, Amanda. They've been together about 6 years, and I've never liked the guy. Not in a loud, confrontational way, I just never trusted him. He's one of those guys who always has a story, always has a new hustle, and never seems to actually work a real job for long. He sold real estate, pressure-washed driveways, flipped junk cars, did something with crypto at one point. There's always some plan that never quite pans out. But Amanda loves him, and she's my sister. So I kept my mouth shut and tried to be civil. Anyway, that night he calls and says he needs a favor. He says his mom's moving some furniture into storage and his truck's in the shop. He asks to borrow my F-150 just for the afternoon. I hesitated. That truck is my workhorse. I've had it since 2017, and I take care of it. I use it every day for hauling tools and gear. It's not a luxury car, but it's mine, it's reliable, and it's paid off. I said, "You'll bring it back tonight, right?" He swore up and down it'd be back in my driveway by dark. I should have trusted my gut. I should have said no. But instead, I tossed him the keys. That was a Monday. By Wednesday morning, I still hadn't heard from him. I texted, no response. Called, straight to voicemail. I even messaged Amanda on Facebook and got a thumbs-up emoji, which made no sense. By Thursday, I started getting pissed. Not just at Travis, but at myself. I knew better. And now my truck was gone, and this clown wasn't answering his phone. So Friday afternoon, I drove over to their place. Amanda answered the door looking tired and stressed. She didn't even say hi, just leaned against the door frame and asked, "You hear about the truck?" I said, "Yeah. Where the hell is it?" She said Travis had taken it to a mechanic friend because something sounded weird in the engine. I asked where. She didn't know. I asked if he was home. She said no. I left without saying anything else. I didn't trust a word of it. That night, I started calling around to local shops. A buddy of mine who works at an auto place out in Meade called me back Saturday morning. He said he saw my truck sitting behind a repair shop out there. Said it looked beat to hell. I drove straight there. And there it was. My truck, covered in dried mud and dust. Tires worn down. Front bumper cracked on the passenger side. The inside smelled like someone had left a wet towel and an ashtray in there for a week. I felt sick. The shop owner came out and said Travis had dropped it off 4 days ago, said he'd blown something and needed a full diagnostic. But then he never came back or answered calls. The engine was toast. It would cost more to fix than the truck was worth. I climbed inside. It felt like someone else's truck now, like I was sitting in the ghost of something I used to own. That's when I opened the glove box, just out of habit, looking for my insurance card. And that's when I found the receipt. It was folded twice, still clean, from a place called Dirt Country Raceway in Deer Park. $250 entry fee. Date stamped. Wednesday, 2 days after Travis borrowed my truck. Under vehicle, it said mod stock. Under driver name, clear as day, Travis M., his full name. He'd raced my truck. Entered it in a dirt track race. Like it was his. Like I was just some idiot he conned. I felt everything drain out of me. Anger, embarrassment, disbelief. That night I showed up at their house again. Travis was there this time. I walked straight into the living room and tossed the receipt on the coffee table. He looked at it, shrugged, and said, "It's just a truck, man. Chill out." I didn't hit him, but I wanted to. I looked at my sister. She wouldn't even meet my eyes. I turned and walked out. I got in my rental car and drove home shaking. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat at my kitchen table, going over everything. The months, the years of helping, of giving rides, of loaning him tools he never gave back, of fixing things at their place, of covering their electric bill once because Amanda called crying. I realized I'd spent years trying to keep the peace, and Travis had spent those same years seeing me as nothing but a sucker. That night, I started my plan. No more helping. No more quiet tolerance. He thought I'd just get over it. He had no idea what I had in store. After that night, I went no contact with Travis and Amanda. I didn't return her calls, didn't reply to her texts. I needed space. But mostly, I needed time. I filed a police report for unauthorized use of a vehicle. Not stolen, because technically, I'd given him the keys, but I wanted a paper trail. The officer told me it would be hard to prove intent without text evidence. Still, I filed it. That was step 1. Step 2 was insurance. I called my carrier, gave them the whole story. I didn't hide a thing. They sent out an adjuster. The truck was a total loss. But because Travis wasn't listed on my policy and I lent him the truck voluntarily, my claim hit a wall. The damage wasn't covered. That's when it hit me. I wasn't just out a truck. I was out close to $20,000 in value. I was screwed. So I did what I could. I had it towed back to my place. Every time I walked past it, I got angrier. The mud still crusted around the wheel wells. The busted radiator hanging. The cracked bumper like a broken tooth. About a week later, Amanda showed up at my place. I didn't let her in. She stood on my porch crying. She said Travis had told her he just took it for a spin and that I was overreacting. She claimed she didn't know about the race. I didn't believe her. Then she hit me with it. He's trying to get a loan to help you fix it. He feels bad. I laughed in her face. I told her the truck was totaled. And that Travis wouldn't be helping me fix a damn thing. He was going to pay, one way or another. That's when the next part of the plan started. I reached out to a friend from high school, Zach, who works in freelance investigations. He helps lawyers and insurance companies dig into fraud, asset tracking, and things like that. I asked if he could look into Travis a bit. I told him I suspected Travis had done this before, used or borrowed things under false pretenses. A week later, Zach called back. What he found pissed me off more than I expected. Travis had a pattern. Over the past 5 years, he borrowed 2 motorcycles, a dirt bike, and even a camper trailer, all from friends or in-laws, and returned them wrecked or not at all. In one case, he lost a friend's ATV in a supposed theft that was never reported, and he was listed as the co-signer on a repossessed Chevy Silverado last year. Worse, he had 3 active small claims cases against him. One from an ex-roommate, one from an old employer, and one from a Craigslist buyer who claimed Travis sold him a car with a fake title. He was a scam artist, a walking con with a wife who didn't, or wouldn't, see it. That was when I realized going after him directly wasn't enough. I needed to make it public. I needed it to hit him where it hurt. So I started documenting everything. I made a folder with copies of the race receipt, photos of the truck, the repair bill, the police report, text logs, and witness statements. I wasn't sure how I'd use it all yet, but I wasn't going to let it sit in the dark. Then I heard from a mutual friend that Travis had been bragging about the race to a guy at his new job. Wait, what job? Turns out, Travis had landed a sales job at a powersports dealership in Spokane, selling motorcycles, ATVs, and off-road trucks. He was working at a place that sells exactly the kind of crap he used to destroy mine, and they had no idea what kind of person they'd hired. That's when the revenge took shape. It wasn't just about getting even anymore. It was about making sure he couldn't do this again to someone else. And I was just getting started. I found out the name of the dealership where Travis worked, Summit Ridge Motorsports. I called one morning and posed as a customer. Asked if Travis was available to talk about financing a Ute EV. The receptionist said, "Sure," one moment, and transferred me. He picked up like he hadn't tried to ruin my life 2 weeks ago. "Hey, this is Travis," he said, sounding chipper. I hung up. I needed confirmation. I needed leverage. So I dug further. I created a burner Facebook profile with a fake name and used it to reach out to a few people who'd interacted with Travis on public forums, mostly racing and off-roading pages. I messaged one guy who had posted a photo of a muddy F-150 with Travis tagged in the comments. I asked if he knew anything about the race. The guy responded fast. "Yeah, Travis showed up with that beast and ran it hard. Said it was his new project truck." I played dumb. He said it was his? Yeah. Said he picked it up from his brother-in-law for cheap. That hit like a punch. Travis hadn't just used my truck. He was telling people he bought it, claiming he owned it. The guy even sent me a short clip, a video from the stands. Blurry but unmistakable. My blue F-150 roaring around a curve, fishtailing in the mud. And the announcer calling out, "That's Travis M," coming out hot in the modified stock division. I downloaded the video, saved it in my folder. I also checked the dealership's website. Travis had a profile listed under their staff section, Travis M., Powersports Sales Specialist, Off-Road Enthusiast, dedicated to getting you the ride of your dreams. I couldn't make this stuff up. That's when I decided to reach out to the dealership directly, but not as me. I sent an anonymous email from a new Gmail account titled Employee Misconduct Report. I included a copy of the police report, the race receipt, photos of the damaged truck, a link to the race video, a short write-up detailing how Travis used a family member's vehicle without permission, entered it in a race, destroyed it, and then lied about ownership. I ended the email with, "Do you want someone like this representing your dealership? Someone who lies about vehicles, misrepresents ownership, and has multiple small claims lawsuits pending." 2 days later, Amanda called me in tears. "Did you send something to Travis's job?" I didn't say yes. I didn't say no. She said he got called into HR and was placed on immediate suspension pending a full review. She said he blamed me for trying to ruin his life. She begged me to let it go. I asked her one thing. "Did he ever tell you he claimed to own my truck?" She went quiet. Then she whispered, "He told me you gave it to him." That's when everything inside me turned cold. "He said you were tired of it, that you were going to upgrade, so you told him to take it." My voice didn't rise. I didn't curse. I just said, "He lied to your face. He's been lying to you for years." And then I hung up. She hasn't called since. I figured that might be the end. But then, a week later, I got a letter in the mail. Certified. From a law firm. Inside was a notice. Travis was threatening to sue me for defamation and damaging his professional reputation. He claimed the race had been mutually agreed upon, and that I was retaliating because of a family dispute. I called the law firm. The woman who answered asked if I had legal counsel. That was the moment I knew. I wasn't just fighting back. Now I had a war on my hands. And I wasn't backing down. I didn't panic when I got the letter from his lawyer. I was angry, but not surprised. This was classic Travis. Backpedal, twist the truth, and make himself the victim. But filing legal threats against me for defamation after everything he did? That lit a fire in me I hadn't felt in years. I called a local attorney I'd worked with once before during a property dispute. I laid everything out, every receipt, every message, every lie Travis told. She was blunt. "He doesn't have a leg to stand on. But he's banking on you backing off." I didn't back off. Instead, I hit back. We filed a response with documentation showing that the truck was titled and insured solely in my name. I had text messages showing he borrowed it for the day, the race receipt, video, and photos proved unauthorized use. The damage he caused totaled the vehicle, and I had already suffered a financial loss due to insurance denial. My lawyer recommended we counter with a civil claim of our own. Unauthorized use of property and intentional damage. She said it would likely force him into mediation or public court. I was fine with either. While that was brewing, I got another surprise. Travis's old roommate messaged me through my burner account. He'd seen the Reddit thread I anonymously posted about someone racing their brother-in-law's truck and guessed it was Travis. He offered me screenshots from when Travis bragged in a group chat months ago about ripping someone's ride around the track like it was stolen. His words, not mine. There was even a photo of my truck, front and center, covered in track mud, with a beer can on the hood. I added all of it to the file. At this point, I knew I had him cornered. The dealership never officially responded to me, but his profile quietly disappeared from their website. A mutual friend later confirmed Travis had been fired. He blamed me for everything. He started posting online vague status updates about snakes in the family and fake loyalty. Amanda posted a photo of their wedding anniversary dinner with the caption, "Through thick and thin." But behind the scenes, I knew they were struggling. Amanda's hours got cut at work. Travis was jobless. And then another twist. The friend who first spotted my truck at the shop texted me again. Said Travis was trying to sell the race video, my truck's race video, to a local YouTuber who makes content on amateur motorsports. Said he was calling it the dirt track disaster and pitching it like it was all some hilarious fluke, trying to turn my loss into content. That was the final straw. I had kept things civil. I'd followed the law. I'd given my sister a chance to come clean. But now Travis wanted to profit off humiliating me? He wanted to make it entertainment? No, this wasn't just about a truck anymore. This was about showing him what happens when you use people like they're disposable. He wanted to race? Good. Because the finish line was coming. And this time, I wasn't holding back. Travis thought he could spin this whole thing into a joke. A story to tell at parties. A stupid video to post online. Something to laugh about. But I wasn't laughing. I was done being quiet. Done letting him win. So I flipped the script. The first thing I did was reach out to that YouTuber Travis was pitching the video to. Turns out, the guy had a decent following. Over 80K subscribers. And focused on amateur races and off-road disasters. I messaged him directly from my personal account and laid it all out. I sent proof ownership documents, the race receipt, screenshots of the mechanic's report, and photos of the damage. I told him the truck wasn't Travis's, that it was mine, that he took it without permission, raced it, destroyed it, and then tried to turn it into content without even admitting what he did. The YouTuber replied the next day, "Dude, I had no idea. Thank you for telling me." He didn't post the video. Instead, he made a short clip explaining that he was contacted about featuring footage from a race involving a borrowed vehicle under false pretenses. And after learning the real story, he chose not to give it a platform. Then, he tagged Travis's Instagram account and removed a pinned comment Travis had left hyping up the upcoming video. That stung. Public and humiliating. But it wasn't enough. I had already filed the civil claim. I pushed for a formal court date. My lawyer told me it would likely go to mediation, but I said no. I wanted it on record. I wanted Travis to sit in front of a judge and explain himself. The court date was set 6 weeks out. In the meantime, I got a call from Amanda. She sounded hollow. She asked if there was any way to avoid court. Said Travis was really stressed, and they couldn't afford this kind of thing right now. I told her the truth. This isn't just about the truck, Amanda. It's about how he lied to you, how he tried to take advantage of me, and how he never once owned up to it. She was quiet. I heard her breathing, like she wanted to cry but wouldn't let herself. He told me you gave him permission, she said. I didn't. I know that now. And then she hung up. Court day came. Travis showed up in a wrinkled button-down, looking smaller than I remembered. His lawyer looked annoyed, like he knew he was fighting a losing battle. I had everything printed and bound. The police report, the photos, the race video, the mechanic's statement, and most importantly, the texts. The simple exchange where Travis asked to borrow the truck for the day. That's what sealed it. The judge didn't even take long. She ruled in my favor. Travis was found liable for damages totaling just under $18,000. He had 60 days to start a payment plan or face wage garnishment. His face went pale. Amanda sat behind him the whole time. She didn't say a word, but it didn't end there. A week later, I listed the wrecked truck for sale, exactly as is. I posted the full story in the listing. No fluff, just the truth. Truck was raced without permission by a family member. Engine is blown. Body damaged. Selling for parts or scrap. Here's the story, linked to the YouTuber's update video. It went viral locally. Comments poured in. People sharing similar stories, warning others about Travis by name. He became known in Spokane as that guy who raced his brother-in-law's truck and got sued. He lost job offers. Friends stopped returning his calls. Someone even posted a meme of his race with the caption, "It's just a truck." Amanda moved out 3 months later. Quietly. I only found out because she sent me a thank you card. No return address. Just a note. "You were right. I'm sorry." As for me, I got a new truck. Took me months of side jobs and budgeting, but I did it. It doesn't feel like victory. It feels like healing. I don't help people like I used to, not blindly, but I sleep better. Because Travis learned, finally, fully, what it means when you cross the wrong person and treat their trust like it's disposable. And I learned I'm not just the guy who lends the truck. I'm the guy who takes it back.